coursing through our veins. Violence, violence, show your face. Show me we're all the same. Violence, beautiful violence, break my faith. It was broken anyway.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Sorry about not streaming yesterday. Instead, we did a Twitter space. I had to run a couple errands and just didn't get a chance to stream. First things first, Crypto Overflow, what's up? Powell, nice to see you here. Iron Stallion, I don't think I've seen your name before, but welcome to the live stream. Today, just going to kind of walk through macro stuff and then possibly go through a Bitcoin swing trade opportunity that I think is possible. Not necessarily banking on it. Need to see a couple things before I enter that trade, but for the most part, it's an option. It's available, and I'm keeping my eyes on it. Looks like we got some more people. Wealth, what's up, man? Timothy, how's it going? All right, first things first, let's go through stocks. Dow, obviously using the weekly here. Dow looks like we bounced off major support, making what looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Now, obviously, we have these two big areas of support and resistance. If we break this 33,500 area, we will see lower lows, most likely going down to 29.8K. And with that said, if we break above 35.6 area, we could possibly see higher highs. Now, I know these are two big macro areas, but one thing I want you guys to notice, there is an inverted head and shoulders possible here, but there's also a head and shoulders possible, which is why both of these areas of support and resistance are so important. So we're going to watch these with great expense because it will determine whether the stock market continues to make all-time highs, whether this recession continues to really drag out before we get into the thick of it. The S&P 500, now this is where I'm starting to question, is this an inverted head and shoulders? Yes, one could say this is a very possible double bottom. We have these two levels of major support and resistance once again. In my opinion, I think this is a head and shoulders forming. Why on earth would you make a double bottom in an uptrend? It just doesn't make a lot of sense unless this is just sideways movement, which is very likely. Not going to disregard that, but keep my eyes on this support level. If we lose this 4,200 area of support, things are going to get ugly for the S&P 500. The Nasdaq looks the worst out of the three. This is the tech sector. For those of you that don't know, a lot of tech's earnings reports came out this week. Looks like this week is red, and honestly, we're putting in another lower low. Would not be surprised if this just kept going down, even if the other two indexes continue to rise. Tech stocks are taking a beating, and we know that tech stocks are volatile assets. Volatile assets are sold off first, right before or during the first stage of recession, which, in my opinion, we're in that first stage of recession. Notra, this is a zombie market. Yeah, it's just kind of going sideways and acting like a normal distributive state. Jeez, what's up, man? I like Doom too, dude. I wanted you to speak yesterday. I tried to invite you as a speaker. Maybe you were busy. I know you tuned in for a little while. All right, let's go through total charts. Yeah, just still kind of in this bear flag consolidation period. Rejected the top here, rejected our golden line here a couple weeks ago. Kind of bounced off this bottom white almost, but really we need to break below this blue line here. For those of you who don't know, the crypto total is all of cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Not a lot has happened, really, since January. Just kind of gone sideways. Excuse me. Oh, I have to sneeze. It's not letting, my body's not letting me sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I hate when that happens. But anyways, really since January, nothing has happened. We've gone sideways. There really hasn't been a really good short opportunity or a really good long opportunity. So if you've been trading this range and getting absolutely wrecked and wondering, is trading even worth it? That's what happens at sideways consolidation or a bear flag or whatever you want to call this. It's literally just there to chop you up and to get you away from the market. That way, if they push the price up, you're forced to buy the top, or they're trying to capitulate the market by getting all the participants out, making them accept their loss, and moving the price down from there, which is what I believe is happening. Total 2, this is Ethereum and all the altcoins. Again, big rejection of our golden line, big breakdown of our second golden line. I think we go down to this blue line before any defining move, which could make a double bottom. Keep an eye on it. It's very, very possible. Total 2 is all of it's Ethereum and all the altcoins, by the way. Total 3, same thing as Total 2. Looking to make a very possible double bottom, or we could just shatter that support level and continue going lower. The biggest key here is you're going to want to watch Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks below that bear flag, breaks below 37K, I wouldn't count on this double bottom, not in the slightest. DXY, absolutely bullish, just absolutely crushing every area of resistance. If we draw a diagonal resistance here, we break that. 105 is, I guess, my target or my targeted historical resistance. If we kind of zoom out, we can see that the 105 area has acted as resistance here, some resistance here, some support here, even all the way back to, what is this, 1978? 105 has been a very, very important area. So breaking above 105 is going to just continue to allow the dollar to rise in value, which is not good for any assets, including your volatile assets such as cryptocurrency. Bitcoin will absolutely get wrecked, and just as well as stocks. So keep an eye on this 105 area. If we do break this, it is going to be catastrophic for assets. I think November bottom, NFA. What do you mean? NASDAQ is more like crypto than others. I wouldn't say so, no. I got training with Phantom and was successful during the shop. That's awesome, man. There are some people that are really successful in sideways movements. I tend to not trade them because I'm a swing trader. I'm not a day trader. I don't like small movements and looking at charts all day. It's just too stressful, and I like keeping the hair on top of my head. USDT.D. So why is this important? If this continues to rise, that means that our cryptocurrencies are going to continue falling. Essentially, when this loses dominance, so when you have red, so if we go down, Bitcoin goes up. When this goes up, Bitcoin goes down. So, big thing to note, if this breaks this resistance area, if this breaks the 4 to 5% area, crypto will absolutely see capitulation. I mean, we're at some serious supports on just about every coin, including Bitcoin, and once you lose those support levels, just things get very, very ugly, very, very fast too. Before I go into Bitcoin, I just wanted to say, for those of you that are in Discord, you probably already know this, but I've recently accepted a partnership with Mexi. They're a crypto exchange with over 1,900 projects and counting. So if you're a big altcoin investor, this is a huge opportunity for you. There's more details in Discord, but they're doing a giveaway as part of the partnership. If you use the links in the description or in the chat or even in my Discord, you get 10% off your trading fees. You're entered into a $1,000 giveaway. And then on top of that, I believe you receive a $25 Bitcoin airdrop. So not the biggest giveaway in the world, but just still something to take advantage of. And the 10% off fees is for life. So if you're a big altcoin person and you're like, oh, next bull run, I want to trade all these altcoin projects. I want to do all this and that. And, you know, I don't know where to find them. Binance doesn't have this, but I want to trade it. This is an exchange that has all of the options available for you. And on top of that, you'll have that 10% off the trading fee, which if you guys didn't know this, a lot of altcoins you have to go through Gate.io or PancakeSwap or just all these other complicated processes that really continue to rise fees. So if you're an altcoin investor, if you're just an investor looking for a solid exchange, I recommend Mexi. I'm still with Bitget and I'm still using Bitget. So for those people that think I'm not going to advertise Bitget either, you're wrong. I'm going to continue backing them. I'm now partnered with 2 exchanges and I very much like both of them. Both have high security. Both are great exchanges to use. In what position are you going to enter? The next position I plan to enter is a long position. Feels like nothing until Q2 or Q3 next year. I mean, possibly. And I have some data to back why our volatile assets aren't moving. We'll get into that after we cover Bitcoin's daily. You guys know how I feel about the weekly. The weekly looks ugly. For those of you that are new to the stream, this is just my very simple weekly macro analysis. So essentially every single time we have a death cross here, we have one here, 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 and in 2014. We'll even get rid of MACD and RSI just to make this a little bit easier to read. Every time we have one of these death crosses, the 20 going below the 50, we see about at least a 50% crash. Now, for those of you that don't know, I usually don't count COVID because it was a black swan event. However, it's still a point of data we can use in our calculation. So essentially every time we have a death cross, we see capitulation, we see an at least a 50% crash. So, and I know a lot of people say, oh, but this time it's different, but this time it's that, but it's not. Guys, we're entering a recession. All the indicators on macro time frames are saying, get the hell out of the market, don't long, don't accumulate. This is not an accumulation range, and we're actually in an ascending wedge. So although a lot of people say, oh, well, this and that, and Bitcoin's going to go to 200K. Well, we need to be in an environment for it to go to 200K. And aside from that, we are in a massive ascending wedge. The last ascending wedge we were in was right here. We were in an ascending wedge from February 15th all the way until April 12th. When that ascending wedge broke, we dropped 60%. When this larger ascending wedge breaks, I wonder if we drop 60 to 80% at least. Our capitulation zone, which I believe is a 63% drop for whatever reason, the last 2 capitulated areas dropped 63% from the cross. So my area of potential bottom is 17K still. I'm still in the range of 20K, 17, maybe even lower could be our bottom. It just really depends on how bad recession can be. If you draw a trend line from the candle closes on the daily, we're already below the bear flag. Yeah, I have that. We'll go over the daily in a second. How's it going, bro? Allergies getting better? They never do. They never get better. They only get worse until it's like summertime. When I was living in South Florida, I didn't even have a problem with it. Fully plan on moving back. I'm just waiting for the real estate or the real estate market to crash. I'm waiting for houses to come down. I'm going to buy a nice pad in Miami, Florida, and just chill the hell out. I mean, or I guess warm the hell out because the weather's so nice all the time. But yeah, I mean, that's my plan. We'll see when that happens. But Bitcoin Daily. Bitcoin Daily. Let's get at these other indicators over here. Get rid of moving averages. Okay, so got a lot of people that say this bounce is really bullish. We hit the bottom of the flag. I would argue that it's not as bullish as people think. I'm still in the area of this, where we actually see the candle closes. We're closed below. We actually retested it very perfectly twice. And on that retest, we actually have bearish price action. So this is a breakdown, a retest. It should continue lower. That's my bearish scenario. That's the one that I lean heavily with. However, if we use more points of contact, especially with the wicks down here, so if you got to remove auto. If you look at these wicks and make this a parallel line, it actually matches up with some of the closes, some of the wicks. It's just more points of contact, and we're actually in an area of demand, which means that it should act as support. However, I think the true support zone's here at 37K. We bounced right off of it. Essentially losing 37K would spill a lot of blood in this market. You lose 37K and this bear flag is confirmed. I could see us retesting it possibly and then continuing our reign of terror to the downside. When I get into lower time frames, we'll go over the possible swing trade I'm looking at, especially being that this is the last final support before capitulation. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea to take a long. You just need the other indicators there in order to do so. What if ascending wedge started at 2018 top? I mean, that's possible. You should chill and relax. I mean, the exchange partnerships are nice, man. You get paid decently. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, this, throw it in your face, throw it in your face. I'm not running advertisements all the time. I'm trying to give you guys content, but it still helps to, promote exchanges that have positive values, a positive leadership, high security. I mean, guys, this is an investing space. So what I'm trying to do is partner with exchanges that, one, have high security. We all want our money protected. Two, have reasonable fees. No one wants to overpay for trades. And then three, just having a good leadership team, because I used to use Binance and their support group took like months to get back to me. And that's just unacceptable. You should be treating your business with the utmost importance, and CZ is terrible. Binance is a terrible exchange. What's up, Bart? If it's going to speed run the bottom, I think we bottom in July. I mean, it's very possible. Very, very possible. Excuse me 1 second. I just got to make sure this other... Oh, I guess it's not working. That sucks. Yeah, I have bots that put chats in there. I'm wondering why it's not... Oh, there they are. Now they're coming. All right. It's probably because it's at the bottom. I need to make it at the top. It's banned where I live for some reason. Where do you live? Yeah, and there's also... I've gotten some negative feedback about partnering with exchanges. If you guys didn't know, the people that partner with exchanges, you're actually paid in commissions from fees. So essentially there's this notion that you could have a ton of people sign up for your exchange and just shill a bunch of stuff, and when everyone gets liquidated, you get a huge paycheck. First and foremost, that's not what I do. I give you guys analysis that's unbiased. I'm not telling you it's doom all the time. I have plenty of bullish tweets when the market was bullish, when it was in a bullish environment. For the last 6 months, and a lot of people are like, oh, you've been bearish forever. Well, macro-wise, for the last year, we have really not put in all-time highs. The market's been in a stagnant consolidation range. Maybe this is accumulation, but in honesty, I think this is distribution. I mean, it doesn't make sense that huge hedge funds and institutions and whales would sell all in this area just to rebuy here. That guys, these people are working with hundreds of millions of dollars. They want the big paychecks. They want to accumulate at lower prices. They're not going to sell at 60 and buy at 40. That's not how that works. Just trust me on that. That's just not how that works. Just trust me, bro. Not your exchange. I was referring to Binance. Oh, FTX Sam wants to liquidate you. He absolutely does. Yeah, FTX shuts down their exchange every time price gets volatile. It's ridiculous. 20 or 50 over 20 death cross approaching on the 3-day. I'm sure we can check real quick, but let me run through the daily. So daily again, Coinbase doesn't show it well, but we actually have volume increasing as we're dropping from the top. And all of the bounces, I want you guys to know, inner trend. So inter-trend, all of these little bounces, low volume, volume going down, volume going down. That's all in accordance to bearish price action. So we don't have any strength at the moment to really push and break out. Now, although, the market does what the market does here and there, but for the most part, you need the momentum to do that. This MACD can be very deceiving, and these bullish divergences or possible bullish divergences here in RSI can also be very, very deceiving. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to that stuff. I'd look for price action as your indicator first. Accumulate, yeah, and also why the hell would a institution whale accumulate before a recession? Prices across the board are going to drop significantly. I didn't hear which exchange you recommend. So I'm partnered with Mexi and Bitget. Both have different uses and both have different utilities, depending on the trader you are. So Mexi has a very broad span of altcoins. They have over 1,900 projects. They're also running a promotional deal right now just with me. So if you sign up using the link in, I believe it's, I don't know why they're not getting put out, but it's in the description. You get 10% off trading fees. You also get to participate in a $1,000 giveaway. With Bitget, they have a lot of leverage trading, a lot of contractual trading. They do have lower fees, but they do not have the span of altcoins that Mexi has. In my opinion, it just really depends on the type of trader you are. If you're into leverage trading and you only really trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'd say Bitget. But if you're a big altcoin investor, you like, the 20x, 50x, or the 80% drops in altcoins, then surely go and go with Mexi. I also don't see a way for the people who longed the bottom last year around 29 to 30K get to just sit in them safe forever. Oh, no, absolutely not. And I think a lot of them actually got liquidated already. Or not liquidated. They already sold. Not liquidated. They already sold their positions. So, okay, let's get into the 12-hour real quick. 12-hour. Yes, there is some bullish divergences here. I'm going to leave these lines here for the daily reference, but I do not see bullish price action. Again, we have volume going down, price going up. This just looks like another very simple dead cat bounce. It's too late to short. You should have shorted up here or on this breakdown. We're right in between support and resistance. So for the most part, not a good opportunity to short. You don't want to short between support and resistance. You want to short if we get up here or long when we get down here. 4-hour. Now this is where things get interesting. So one thing I noted this morning, and honestly I don't like how high it went, but if this price comes down to here, we have a potential double bottom. Now what are the things that I want to see? I want to see volume go down. I want to see the volume bars go down like this. That would imply bullish price action as we sell. Sellers are starting to get exhausted and buying can take place. We would also have another area of bullish divergence here. I'm also under the impression that we'd have bullish divergence in MACD up in here. So there is an opportunity to long. However, we need to see a couple things. We need to see follow through. So again, as we come down to this level, we need to see volume go down. That's my biggest thing. If volume starts increasing, there's no way in hell I'm buying. Not a chance. Because when you have momentum going into support, that support level is generally lost. If you see a slight come down with low volume, that actually means that buyers are starting to get in control and they're looking to put bigger buys here because they have control here, bounce up. So these were original buy orders here. We bounce up off the initial buy, we come back down, they put larger orders in, and then we start to accelerate upwards. Now, granted, we are in a recessive area. Macro economy looks awful. There is a statistic or a statistical piece of data, and I'm actually going to pull it up really, really fast. I have to send it to myself. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. So for those of you that can see, this is our Discord. Lots of people talking it all the time. But this is the point of data I wanted to show you guys. Excuse me. So each one of these data points here, every single time we go below this zero line, it's a recession or depression area. So 100% of the time, every single recession that's ever happened in U.S. history, each one of these little circles, it has 100% accuracy, 100% valid, and look where we are now. We are well below the 0% line. And again, this is 100% accurate. So are we going to sit here and say we're not going into recession, things are going to get better? Like, absolutely not. So if you're someone that's a long-term investor and you see something like this, it's time to exit your positions, and then you'll have the opportunity to buy much lower. There's going to be a lot of opportunities within the next 6 to 12 months. Because usually when this happens, especially with a yield curve inversion, you have 6 to 12 months of possible higher highs, possibility that the market either continues moving sideways or breaks all-time highs. And after that period, we actually drop really, really hard. And not necessarily really fast, but very, very hard, at least 50, 60, 70%. I believe in 2008, the S&P dropped about 60%. So, but before it dropped 60%, we had a yield curve inversion, actually broke prior all-time highs by about 15 to 20%. So although things were starting to look bad, the stock market kept on its tear. Now, what does that mean for crypto? Guys, remember, crypto is a volatile asset. Just look at tech. Tech is not, the tech stocks, the NASDAQ, is not putting in, and we'll even pull it up while we're discussing. The NASDAQ is not putting in the value that the Dow and the S&P are. This is breakdown retest. This is very, very bearish. There is not a possibility of an inverted head and shoulders or a reversal pattern here. This is most likely going to continue either sideways or just down. I don't see this really running at all within the next at least 6 to 12 months. So, all right, back to our 4-hour real quick. You guys know how I feel now, why I tweeted this morning that there is a bullish opportunity. Now, that opportunity means we need to wait. We need to wait until we hit 38K to take that trade. We need to see how volume is. We need to see if these divergences are holding, if this RSI support line is holding. And just for that reference, let's even draw one. So if we draw just a very simple, and it's going to give me that. We draw just a very simple diagonal support. Make it as accurate as we can. We need to hold this line. So when we drop, we cannot break below this line. If we break below that line, things are starting to look ugly. If volume starts coming in, and let's say instead of this, we get this on the way down, so volume increasing as we start dropping, this double bottom's out of the question. We will definitely break down. So what we need to see, again, volume dropping, price dropping, holding this area of RSI support. Oh, there's the Mexi chatbot. Awesome. WW3 Wick, let's go. Can you share your chart from TradingView with a link? I mean, to make it public. I share a lot of my analysis on Twitter. That doesn't mean crypto. No, I don't believe crypto is going to break all-time highs. I don't think we'll see above a 45K Bitcoin for the next couple years. Why are you using 1 week chart always? This is more macro analysis when I look at stocks. It's harder for me to talk about day trades and scalp positions when I only live stream for about an hour, 2 to 3 times a week. So although scalping's great and you can certainly scalp, a lot and make money, guys, this is not a day trading live stream. This is me giving you possible swing trades, possible longer term plays. The shorter term stuff, most short term traders only write about 30 to 40% of the time. Why they're profitable is because they have great risk management. So if you're a more short term trader, just know that I'm giving you swing trade analysis and more macro thesis. Right. Let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance and then Ethereum. Maybe go through some altcoins and then we'll call it a day. My whole sinuses are just in the rocker. Okay, so another indication of bearishness for crypto. Looks like Bitcoin. We've had this blue line here. We actually broke out, retested, came back up, retested again, and now we're possibly forming what looks like a head and shoulders pattern. This is pretty textbook head and shoulders. So what would I like to see? I'd like to see this above 43%. If we can break that 43% area, this is, you're talking about capitulation across the market type scenario. Unless we make a double top here and head down, I'm still under the picture that, or under the assumption that Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to rise rather than make that double top or make that head and shoulder pattern. But for the most part, short term, it looks like we've kind of broke a horizontal or a very, very slight horizontal resistance area, and it looks like we're going to continue higher. Don't really know how much higher, but even if we draw like a diagonal line here, yeah, it looks like we have a breakout there as well. So although this is looking very bullish for Bitcoin dominance, what does that mean? That means that the rest of crypto is most likely going to drop. The only time that Bitcoin outperforms altcoins is when it's dropping. If you guys didn't know, when altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin or when Bitcoin dominance is dropping, that generally means we're in a bullish state or a bull market environment, because altcoins always outperform Bitcoin in a bull market. Now, in a bear market, Bitcoin outperforms altcoins. So over the last about year, a lot of your altcoins, you look at SHIB, you look at Doge. Doge is down 85%. You look at Ethereum. Actually, Ethereum's still holding its value pretty nicely. But you look at something like Mana. I mean, Mana's down like 60, 70%. So a lot of these altcoins are losing their value much more significantly than Bitcoin is. And that's because we are in a bearish environment. We're entering what I believe is a recessive time period. And I'm still under the assumption that 37K is not going to hold. I kind of want it to so I can make that trade, but I don't think it is. All right, let's look at Ethereum and maybe a couple other alts. You guys know me. I don't really like looking at alts when we're in a bearish state. It just doesn't make any sense to, if I'm going to be honest. And you guys that like trading alts, do it at your own risk right now. Some of them might run here and there, but if Bitcoin tanks, it doesn't matter what your analysis is on altcoins. So Ethereum, yeah, we're pretty much rejecting that this diagonal line that we drew last live stream. We can see 4 clear rejections. I know I have 3 circled, but 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And very much expect this support zone to be tested. It looks like we barely touched the brim of our support zone here. Yeah, barely got inside this demand zone. So what I like to see, again, similar with Bitcoin, I'd like to see a retest. I'd like to see lower volume. And then I'd like to see an explosion. I'd like to see volume start coming in as we go up. If that's the case, we will see Ethereum probably go much higher, probably break the 4K area. But again, we need to see that price action coming in. We need to see bullish price action across the board, because right now, pretty much everything looks like it's very distributive, very much in a bear flag. Even looking at Ethereum, you can pretty easily draw. If we just go from wicks, or if we try and go from closes, very much a very large bear flag. Maybe even something like this. I don't know. I'd probably have to take more time to draw it. But aside from that, still very much in a consolidation range. And usually when you're in a downtrend and you consolidate like this, you're going to continue going down, just like an uptrend. When you're in an uptrend and you consolidate sideways, you continue going up. Well, now we're in a downtrend going sideways. We should continue down. Just for that reference. Remove all these brushes. Yeah, if there's any other altcoins you guys kind of want me to go over, I'm more than happy to do so. Just let me know. Yeah, Ethereum bear flag, yeah. Absolutely. And that's kind of why I'm not too particular on alts right now. I know a lot of people are trading alts and making a killing. I just personally don't like to be in altcoins when things look like they're about to hit the fan. I forgot Mana existed. Man, Mana made me a lot of money while I was taking a nap. It was crazy. I was like about to take a nap and I saw Mana. I went on Twitter and someone like posted a chart. So I looked at Mana and I'm like, wow, this thing could like go up like 10 to 20%. Like I threw like I think it was like 10, 15 grand in it. Like took my nap, woke up, Mana was up like 120%. Immediately took profit. It was the quickest 2x I've ever received. It was unbelievable. I literally woke up from my nap. I'm like, well, shit. I'm going to go get drunk. That was awesome. How low do I think AVAX can go? Look at AVAX. If I can find it. AVAX. Yeah, I mean, this just looks like another big bear flag. You're essentially in a downward. We're going down. We went sideways. Also, I think AVAX actually broke its bear flag. So this is most likely going to continue going down. It broke its structure. You were in this kind of whatever wedge this is, and we actually broke down. So AVAX looks very, very bearish on the daily. This is not what you want to see. We have a retest, breakdown. God, you want to see Doge? Avenger, you want to see Doge? Doge is such a waste of time. That was just, it only pumps on Elon's tweets and like Reddit. It doesn't even have any utility. But we'll look at Doge. Anything for you. So Doge, one thing to note first, every time Doge pumps, it marks the local top in the market. So Doge pumped, we had a local top, and now that's why we're at the price where we are. One thing I do notice is I saw this on Doge, and I was like, wow, that's a nice inverted head and shoulders. But we failed. We actually failed to break above. And that failure, if we would have broke this diagonal line and broke this neckline right here, getting above like 0.18, that would have been extremely bullish. Break up, retest, continue going higher. That would have been extremely bullish. But it looks like we had this fake out inverted head and shoulders, even a double bottom in here, and we rejected, and now we're looking like we're going to break down. Again, just very, it's going to be tough for me to draw this. I mean, maybe a descending wedge, but again, I just, it's really hard to say this is bullish and this is an inverted head and shoulders when you reject that hard. Got Hex on my watch list? No, I don't. At least I don't think so. Yeah, Yearn Finance looks like it's about to crash. I mean, most of these coins look like they're about to crash. I mean, look at Link. Look at Link putting in lower lows. I mean, maybe not so much from this wick, but failing to hold this support? I mean, failing to hold support with a breakdown candle? I see Link going extremely low. I mean, it's just continuing to just drop. I believe it's down like 70, 80% too from the top. Let's check this out. Link down almost 80% from the top. Like, guys, remember, Bitcoin's only down like 40 something percent. Like, a lot of these altcoins are down like 80, 90%. It's crazy. Can I look at Ape? I don't really want to look at Ape because it's being used as a pump and dump scheme right now. Stay away from Ape. All right, I'll look at FTM and then we'll call it a day. Let's see. FTM. FTM's doing exactly what I thought it would do. We had a double top here. We actually had a breakdown, kind of a retest of this area of support in here, and now we're continuing to put in lower lows. This looks pretty bearish. I mean, we actually also, if we put the bottom of our support line right about here, we have one touch, almost two touches, and it looks like we're just breaking down. This looks pretty ugly. Depending where you want to draw your lines, I mean, it just looks like a support breakdown and retest, especially right here. So FTM looking very bearish. And it's funny to me when I go on Twitter and I see accounts that say alts look really, really bullish. Alts look like they're about to go through alt season. Where are you getting this information? Most of these charts have bearish patterns, and they could probably crash another 50% before any type of significant move to the upside. It's all the altcoins futures over the next couple months is all in the hands of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin crashes, altcoins are going to die. And I bet a lot of them never cease to exist. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I appreciate everyone coming out and watching. Again, if you're interested in a new exchange, just like I said earlier, I partnered with Mexi. The links in the description and in the chat will give you a 10% off your trading fees, as well as entrance into a $1,000 giveaway. Like I said, Mexi has over 1,900 projects. They've never had a scandal. They have really good security, and they've never been hacked. So a very, very reliable exchange. With all that said, guys, please be patient, use risk management, and good luck trading.